Perils, yeah. The
Perils.
perils is
The horror stories.
It's emotional, complete emotional breakdown
And
financial losses.
Yes, that's exactly what we want. That's what I want to talk about. And for Valentine's Day, we're doing the opposite. We're going to be interviewing but on the show, we interview people, politicians, business owners.
Everybody can hear.
Yeah, I'm good. Business owners, nonprofits, all sorts of organizations. We're generally Cheshire based, but we've gone beyond as well. Echo. And we just want to not only entertain our listeners, but educate them as well. So we have some medical episodes. This is a special interest episode with specifically online dating information.
Nice. I mean, the education was critical right now.
Yeah.
The education to be aware and to know what you're looking at.
Well, there was years ago. How many years ago did Catfish come out?
Probably about 5, 6
Are
years
you starting
ago.
the show?
Echo.
Huh?
Echo.
Are you starting?
No.
It sounds like an interview.
I know. He asked. I just wanted to give him a pedestal to jump off of.
The catfish term is actually delineated to a certain segment. It's only people like myself who are 63, but I use pictures from 20s and 30s. I lure you in by me being younger, and then you find out I'm 30 years older when you meet me.
That's a common line, right?
That's what catfishing
You don't look anything
is.
like your picture.
Or you're a sizable human being of the opposite gender.
Yeah, you could have.
Well, there's so many different sects of this that I want to touch upon.
One of my insiders in Lagos, Nigeria, is a male, 23, who was posing as a woman, 30 years old, for a long time with me, until the issue of money finally came along.
It always does,
And
right?
when I said no, I kind of like pulled him out of the closet because we were in the chat. I could see him thinking. And like,
Oh, like the
do you want to tell me something? Because, well, I'm not really a girl, I'm a guy. So he became my insider.
You turned him.
I turned him. I turned her inside out to him. So his name is Zinzu. There's 1 million of them in Lagos. 1 million men around 23 years old who spend their days in internet cafes with 25 different profiles active all at one time.
It's money. It's an income. It's a job.
$300 a day. That's what they average.
Well,
so it's a lot of money.
There's also like email scams, but we'll get into that. Okay.
and there's a lot of scamming that goes on in the world. My focus is romance scammers. It's the number one internet fraud of last year and the year before.
All right, you're going to have to repeat this all you didn't say it before.
Yeah.
No, it's in my head.
So
my biggest issue is that when people, why are you into this? Because last year, $400 million left this country en route to other countries from a romance scammer. So
all right, so hold that thought.
Big bucks.
So we're
going to open the show. We're going to have a little chatter, and then we'll loop you in.
Joseph Burns, right?
Call me Joey Burns.
Joey Burns.
Joey Burns.
Yeah.
Listen,
Joey
sometimes
Burns
shows write themselves.
Joey Burns
sounds like one of the dudes in my uncle's crew.
People say your last it burns like a match under your finger. Can you feel it now?
Joey Burns Ragazzino.
All right.
Johnny No-Nose. Yeah? Struggling having a kid in the house again?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So when you're in it, like every day and you gradually grow into the toddler years, and I haven't been in that game for
I know, I'm in it.
A decade. And then now I have a toddler just owning my home.
Welcome. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Cheshire Cast. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. It's another day. It's another January day. It's January something or other, and we're rolling into 2020. How's it been for you so far, Trisha?
Awesome.
You've got like house company.
I do.
Which is crazy.
I'm tending to my little baby cousin.
Yeah, all of a sudden on Facebook, I see you, like this pretty little blonde girl in your house. I'm like, do we need to talk about something?
No.
I
hit it.
I was like, you hit it really well. I never noticed once you were holding a pillow over your belly.
She's a year and a half old, and
yeah.
She owns her space just like I did, so I can relate.
So just helping out a family member, huh?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But you're, does having her around make you want to just maybe have one more?
The opposite.
The opposite, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like me. I'm beyond it.
After 2, I had no yearning for more.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it.
Yeah,
I love kids. They're adorable, but I like when,
we go back and forth with that,
Do you really?
Well, we not anymore. We did go back and forth with that a little bit after.
There's a
number 3.
window, right?
Yes.
When you still have a little one running around, it's a little more. You have all the equipment, the amount of stuff that little people need to just engage in their daily adventures it's
insane.
It takes over. And when you're in it, like I have 2 kids. So when I was in it, the whole house is set up for them.
Yeah.
You're just basically
and
a
it
satellite.
Evolves as they get older, and it's less safe for a 1.5-year-old.
It really is. Like I have glass on my shelves. I have open outlets. My cabinets are kind of easy to open with like chemicals in them.
Yeah,
I have every danger you possibly. I didn't have that when my
sodium
kids
chloride on the bottom shelf.
Everything dangerous.
Yeah, I get it.
We keep the knives low. Like I showed her where everything important was.
Guns out.
Yeah. She needs all that stuff.
I
People
hear
try to take her stuff and play with her toys.
Yeah.
She's serious.
Yeah, she's gonna stab somebody.
That's right. She's not playing around. Josh went in the basement and found all this stuff. So now she has things, and if she sees somebody going to play with it, she's like, "Excuse me?"
Well, so you want to hear something silly that happened with me?
Sure.
I got a random text, a random Happy New Year text. I'm like, who's this?
How random? Like, didn't recognize anything?
Didn't recognize the number,
Okay.
no history to that. It was, Happy New Year, Corey. And I went, I'm sorry, I don't have this number saved. Who's this?
New phone, who dis?
Yeah, I kind of did the new phone, who this? And they start with the, they come up with some story that I met them at a restaurant in town during a certain event, and I complimented their keister per se.
Okay.
And
they went right for
they made it sound like they were a female and
responding to your advances.
Yes, and I made some sort of advance, which I know I didn't do because first of all, anyway, I don't talk the way they indicated I talked, but I, immediately knowing it was a catfish attempt. I mean, it's one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube is that catfish show.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, so send me a selfie, I'm like, send me a vid. I'm playing along. It's some dude who, decide I have a good idea of who it is. It goes back and forth and I'm going, this is how these internet scams, these dating scams, these catfish things start to happen because you get somebody who's lonely,
likes the
desperate,
attention,
wants the attention, and they'll believe that. I mean, this person used all the telltale signs of a catfish. Oh, I'm a model. Every guy gets contacted at random by some model.
Really?
Yeah. Just random. She just
I've
randomly
seen
happened to be
emails
in
like
Cheshire.
That, but texts.
Right. And I had to, I randomly, apparently I hit on her by saying, "Oh, you have a nice ass."
That's not your line.
No, it's never been my line. Any female that's ever been in my life in any capacity will know that is not something that I would ever say.
But I think for a majority of the people that they contact, somebody would say, "Yeah, that's maybe something I said."
This is somebody trying to prank me or trying to get me into something so they have some dirt. Is what it is. Like I said, I have a good idea of who it is. So, but it was amusing, and then you and I started to talk about booking 2020. Yep. And our guests and everything. And one of the guests on the agenda was the gentleman who's sitting with us today, and it's about online dating and
The
so forth.
darker side
Yeah.
of online encounters.
So I'll toss it back to you to do the introduction, and then we'll expand on my situation and what happens nowadays, because you or I have very little online dating.
Completely
Well,
limited.
none. So
yeah,
let's
absolutely.
let's launch into it. And
So tonight's guest is Joey Burns.
Hello.
He has some really good insight on the financial scamming side of online internet dating, all sorts of dating where you haven't met the person.
Well,
catfishing.
It's a large part financial, but even bigger than that, it's emotional.
Okay.
the emotional.
We're talking about scammers over in Lagos, Nigeria, who are being trained in classrooms. And,
trained
Like
scam seminars.
Keywords and
Well,
ways.
No,
Do
I
they
mean,
have a
scripts.
particular target?
They have scripts, first off. And I have this one recollection of a morning when I was in my little virtual office, and at one time I had 25 of them come at me at the same time.
Posing as
Well, Suzanne, Sally,
women
women.
looking to date you.
Oh, you're handsome. One of the first words.
Where
No matter
would they,
what you look like,
where
you're
would
always
they,
handsome
Where
in
would
the
they
business.
find you? How did they find you?
Well, I would have been on some dating sites at that point. I started my internet dating thing in 2018, this summer.
I was like 18.
No.
Stop it.
Well, I'm 18 years of age with 43 years of experience. But
it was like the internet dating in the 1800s. That would have been.
Yeah.
no, I put my profile up like anybody else.
What sites?
Well, you would start with like Match.com because they're the largest. And
You would think those would be safe. They're not.
no.
They're not vetted.
Well, the Federal Trade Commission right now is suing the Match Group. They're under federal indictment.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's not just the Match Group at all, because they own 135 plus dating sites.
Oh, jeez.
Online dating's a
They
big business.
are the Goliath.
Oh, yeah.
That's why when you join Match, all of a sudden you're getting stuff from Bumble or Tinder
Right.
or Cupid.
So give us a few sites.
Or Ashley Madison.
JDate.com.
Didn't Ashley Madison get sued too
Ashley
for
Madison,
data breach?
wasn't that an escort service?
Well, it was.
Is there a difference?
It was yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It was a site that was made so the key was if you're married and want to have an affair.
Yeah, the MILF.
Okay.
That's the MILF.
So it was a lot of that, and then there was a data breach, and the people that stole the data started contacting all the members saying, "We'll expose all your conversations if you don't pay."
Right.
Is
You know,
that blackmail or
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
some sort of?
I've been blackmailed before.
So when did you start getting into internet dating?
It was August of 2018.
2018. So by 2018, the online dating scene was already well entrenched.
Absolutely.
And you were single
Single.
and you were looking to.
So you weren't on Ashley Madison.
What were you going? What was.
The
Why?
The last chapter of my book is called The Needle in the Haystack. So the whole purpose of internet dating was to find someone, to develop a relationship, and to find that needle in the haystack, which is an interesting thing because with the people I was talking to on the internet and they'd ask what I was looking for, I would send them a picture of a needle. I would send them a picture of a haystack. And I say, what does this mean to you? And they say, I don't know what that is.
They're not into riddles.
They have no conception of what a needle in the haystack meant.
Right. Sure.
This is one of the breakdowns that you can do because American
That's
culture.
cultural.
Well,
Okay.
they learn it by watching old TV.
They who?
Yeah.
There's
The scammers.
The 1 million men in Lagos, Nigeria, that make pretty good living.
Is
doing
Lagos,
this.
Nigeria?
It's the hotbed.
That's a hotbed. But
Lagos is the hotbed, and then over in West, I want to say West Guinea, but that's not right. But there's 2 cities that are really prevalent, but Lagos is the hotbed.
There are also attractive women who do this as well.
Well,
in the Ukraine and.
It's funny you say that because what I see happening now is that I work with Facebook to take a lot of accounts down all day long. And it's easy to take down a fake account coming out of Lagos. I'm involved now with a lot of women, and I'm quoting over here. They can see the quotations.
The silent
Yeah.
air
But,
quotes.
there are women in the United States who have picked up on this scam.
Sure. Because men will send them money.
Absolutely. And with the with how easy it is to send money on a PayPal or or Skype or whatever. I mean, it's just like it goes in an instant. That here, you want $20? There it is. Now it's in your account.
Venmo.
Venmo's the best for moving money in an instant. Well, PayPal's still like 2 or 3 days.
There's no end to how much money they ask for. Once you give them money, it's a well.
Yeah.
And they make promises, and there's also email scams too, like the Prince of Nigeria. I mean, it's like that's a famous one.
Well, we have to by this time we're all over that.
He and I became good friends.
Did you? Did you save his fortunes?
I did.
He's sharing an 18th with you now.
I made $14 million.
There you go.
It's real.
Checks the mail.
That's what funds this podcast.
Listen.
Thank you, Prince of Nigeria.
I used to DJ at an adult venue, a gentleman's club. I'm not going to say the name, but I was the, no. Okay, guys, welcome Candy to the stage. Candy.
Okay.
Got a good voice for that.
That was my quick put on. But, I would do it announcing and play the girls, girls, girls 300 times a night. And every one of these dancers had a sugar daddy, a guy that they had convinced that they were into them. And these guys would come in and I'd watch them drop thousands of dollars. And it was great because I would get a tip from that. Then the girls would all tip me out.
And from the female perspective, asking, what is the male perspective on that? The promise of something?
I don't know because I'll just be honest, I've never been
in that situation
where I've, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I can relate to that because, years ago back in Dallas where I lived, I frequented a gentleman's club, and there was one woman there that was spectacular, and I fell in love with her, as stupid as that sounds. Mm-hmm. And then you think, I can change her, I can get her out of this.
Save her, right? Save her. You want to be the savior.
Of course, don't get me wrong. I'm the kind of guy that if you want to go up there and make $1,000 and come home with me, let's go. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah,
right.
Women's empowerment.
Exactly. So,
you gave her money?
I never. Well, $1 here, $1 there, but it was more that I was seeking something that she was never going to give anyways. Being the way some women can look in clubs is like it's a double curse.
See,
they're cursed.
You're physically seeing the woman in that situation.
Yeah.
Well,
but if they're really good, they can talk and they can talk money right out of an ATM.
What I want to focus on, because it's so prevalent in pop culture right now, is the men and women. It's not just men, but the men and women who are sending loads of money out of state, out of country, to somebody who they feel they're in a relationship with, whom they've never met, sometimes never even seen. And this will continue on, even when people's families try to intervene, try to stop them. And there's a bunch of shows, pop culture-wise. I mean, this all started with Catfish, but there's been a bunch of Dr. Phil's, there's 90 Day Fiancé. There are all of these shows that are out right now showing this side, yet it still continues to grow in popularity. So you met somebody online.
I met hundreds
of people. And initially, you mustn't have thought initial fraud.
He's the Gene Simmons of online dating.
You probably grew into, you started to develop red flags.
Absolutely. I got a list of red flags.
Today, we're going to bring people through anecdotal stories of maybe personal or anecdotal stories of people that you've helped or seen, and how to identify it, maybe how to recognize the red flags. And ultimately, I know.
So what was it that happened?
In my case?
Yeah.
It usually starts with a person. You don't know if they're male or female at first. And you'll start getting pictures. Now, I do reverse image on the tin eye real quickly. That's the first thing I do is I get an image, I'll reverse tin eye. And if it comes back with 27 hits, then I know that it's been off the internet as a...
What is tin eye?
Tin eye is a reverse image engine. So you put your image in there and it looks through 37 billion photos instantly across the internet. So if I put a picture of you up there that you just sent me and I got 20 hits, I would say you're not a real person because your photo's already all over the internet.
Or that person in the photo is real, but somebody's using it nefariously.
Well, that's just it.
Correct.
Most of the times, the photo you're looking at, the photos you're looking at have been stolen from somebody, either off the Facebook or Instagram, where they're easily duplicatable on a right click or a press and hold, whatever. But
Like a
then you can
screenshot.
you can break a person down where they send you 3 or 4 photos, they kind of run out, and there's no more selfies.
Right.
And then there's one girl I remember at Ohio that had 50 different shots of her drinking coffee every morning, and that's a little bit well, how could you drink coffee every morning? But this went on for 6 months. It's what
Well, I drink coffee every morning.
It's what I call.
And you selfie
but she had selfies.
Oh, no, I don't
of
selfie
her,
myself every morning.
But that's what I call the long play. In this business, you got the short play, where you can have someone asking for money in 5 minutes, and that happens because they say, if you want more pictures or if you want to keep talking to me, I need my airtime card. Stream is the number one card in the world for airtime.
Okay.
The long play takes like 6 months of dialogue and pictures and being involved in their lives and
Emotional
love
attachment.
love and trust being played out like you wouldn't believe. That's why people send money, because they believe that they have love and that they have
And they want to help the person with some emergency.
It's a natural thing to help someone you love or want to help if you can.
And once you send them money, they're now engaged with you. They won't drop you. What if you can't send them money?
Well, they might drop you.
Okay.
In the business, it's called being a church mouse. When someone asks for $20 and I say, no, I gave it all to my daughters today. Oh, you're just a church mouse. And that means you're poor and you can't, give me $20 or $100 or whatever they want that day.
You're a dead end, and then they leave you alone.
That's right. That's right. Because,
they will take your last $20.
Absolutely.
They have no remorse.
Absolutely. It could be a medical situation, food, their mother. I've seen things that are actually disgusting in terms of well, I don't want to go into it, but like, this just happened to me. Here's my pictures of it happening to me, and save me, whatever. I mean, it gets pretty pathetic at times. And when you're at the end of a trail of, like, you're convinced they're a scammer and you're getting ready to shut down their profile and turn them in, it's a kind of a curious moment. And then they're gone. I mean, I go into my Hangouts queue, and I've got a few thousand profiles over the last year and a half of people I never heard from again. Every now and then, like, today, someone pops up from 6 months ago. Hi. Like it was yesterday. Where you been?
They're clearing off their desk.
Yeah. Well, no, they're going through the cycle. The average scammer's got 20, 25 different profiles of themselves, different girls, different names, and then they'll have 100 guys that are pursuing them. So they'll cycle out. And if you use a queue like Hangouts, you can see when a person's in the room or they left the room. So you can't be in an active chat when it's called a drive-by.
Right.
Where they drop a question and they'll come back 15 minutes later to get your answer. That's not real-time chatting. They have so many chats going on. And when I got hit by those 25 students who all got my email address, my email address is known around the world, and that's how they get into me the Hangouts. So here they all come in with their scripts, and it's so cute because, like Susie, I'm from Toledo, and blah, blah, blah. And the next girl, she sent me, I'm from open paren, state, close paren.
She's cutting and pasting.
She's cutting and pasting.
Fail.
So I'm cutting and pasting my answers. I can keep up with 25 chats because I know how to say one thing to 25 people at once.
So is your thing, are you trying to expose the scammers? And then
it was all about the research to get to the numbers. After thousands and thousands of chats, you find out that 1 in 100 might be real.
Right.
Might be real.
Sure.
You only get to 1 in 500 or 1,000 when you find out that, they're not all together. They're real, but they're not together. So they can't have a relationship for whatever reason.
Right.
So it's a numbers game.
But a lot of people have met and married.
Yeah. My own sister met her husband on Match.com. So I tell people it is possible.
My father-in-law married his new wife. He met her on Match.com.
It's possible, but not probable.
And I guess as we go along and it
difference.
becomes more and more prevalent that people are making money that way, it probably becomes harder and harder. Maybe upon inception, it was more pure, and then it got kind of polluted.
Well, it only
as
took
it went
me
on.
90 days to come to a conclusion that this was a cesspool, And when I started doing more research, like the $400 million that left this country last year, the FBI ranks romance scammers as the number one internet fraud in this
Wow.
country. This year, it could top 500 million. And that doesn't even count a lot of men who don't report because of their embarrassment.
Yeah, or they don't
I-
want their wives to find out.
Well, yeah.
Or their kids.
Well,
Sure.
I've got a woman going on a Dr. Phil show who lost $90,000
Whoa.
and 90,000. And you want to think first, like, oh, she's really stupid. No, she went under severe gaslighting techniques. And if you don't know gaslighting, go look it up, go learn about it. It's the number one emotional tool
Abuse.
used by scammers
For manipulation.
for manipulation
Wow.
of love and trust.
Now,
And-
your research is, there's a website that I have. It's lovethenetwork.com.
No, actually, Love the Network is a solution that we've created.
Okay.
No, Love Scammers on Facebook is my page about my experience over the last 2 years.
And that has also
A lot of tips and flags and conversation. What I do now is that people send me their chats. This might sound a little strange, but I'll get like 4 or 5 pages of their chat history,
Uh-huh.
and I read through it, and I'll come back in 5 minutes and say, "You're not talking to real." I've developed an intuition to read through someone's lines and know exactly what they're trying to get to.
You're like vetting
I'm vetting.
people.
Yeah.
Obviously, if they're sending it to you, they have red flags.
Yeah.
They're questioning.
Exactly.
So there is something in us, some intuitive marker that says, wait a second.
Well, if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
And with that thing you mentioned earlier about the model shots, I mean, I'm just an average 63-year-old guy. When a 30-year-old model wants to come at me, I'm like, no, something's wrong here. You either got a daddy complex or you're a scammer.
Well,
but it doesn't make sense in the real world.
But some people want that idealized, experience,
Well,
and they help create it for themselves. I
You
guess.
Sure.
can have it on the internet first. Right now I'm doing a lot of research on what I call the VSO, the virtual significant other.
Okay.
And it's
Huh.
interesting that you
My
can,
online boyfriend.
well, you can develop a real serious, intense, emotional relationship when you take the physical part out.
Oh, yeah.
You're not getting to first base. Doesn't matter how you look. It's your sapiosexual side. What's your intelligence level?
Yeah.
Sapiosexual. side.
Sapiosexual. I love that word.
This show just got meta
Well,
somehow.
I had a relationship like that for a time before I got married.
Kind of low maintenance, right? Or no?
Well, I had met a girl on, it was like AOL or something.
She IM'd you?
No, you know what it was? She was part of one of the games I was playing.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
Online.
you chat.
And we just chatted, and
Sure.
then that moved into like at the,
Let's take
at the
this
time it was
private.
AOL IM,
Let's go to the Hangouts.
and we would talk there. And then one day she's like, "Oh, can I call?" Sure, why not? And we talked on the phone, and we never spoke of anything sexual in nature. It was
You just had a connection.
very much, yeah, it was an emotional back and forth. And then when I started dating Jen, I told her, and then I never heard from her again. It's like she got mad, and that was it.
So she was obviously in it for something. And Jen, having another person that you were interested in kind of scared her off.
Well,
It wasn't friendship then.
It depends if she was real or not. If she was real, there'd be real, feedback from that. But if she's not, she's just going to move on to the next
Well,
play.
I'm shortening the story, but it was like a 3-year conversation,
Long
that
time.
we're talking. Again, never talked about being in a relationship, never talked love, never talked anything. It was just, but we would talk a lot all the time. And when Jen and I did start to date, it wasn't like, "Oh, I'm gone." It was never like, "Oh, I'm happy for you." It was like, "Are you sure she's the right one?" Da, da, da. And then ultimately one of us just stopped replying to the other, and that was the end of it.
Well, it had to be in the early 2000s when you were able to go. You're playing online video games.
Yeah.
And you'd have a chat. And as a female gamer, it was always so toxic. Like as soon as anybody
Oh, I
finds
can't
out,
imagine.
oh, it was so toxic. So I never did it. Anytime,
Did you pretend you were a guy?
No, I didn't. I don't pretend anything. I'm just like, I used my tag name was my name. I was obviously female. And as soon as they find out you're female, the whole chat experience, and a lot of times those video games, you needed to chat to play. I don't even remember what they were. Oh my God, so long ago.
EverQuest.
Civilizations, all sorts of stuff. And I understand
Lineage.
the very male-based player pool, I get that. But it ruined the experience because you couldn't ever... It was
oh my God, you have boobs?
Constant sexual advances playing a video game to the point where I was like, that's not for me. I'm going to play this solely on my own. And it's...
Good luck.
It wasn't always...
The odds are against it, period.
Unbelievable.
Because I watch chats all day on Facebook and other various places, and there's a lot of hungry men out there.
Oh, yeah.
But something about the anonymity also of the chat rooms makes people way more... I mean, going to a bar is one thing and getting hit on or somebody buys you a drink. There's a certain etiquette that was a little bit more refined. Whereas in these anonymous closed-door chat room, it was kind of like, ew. Like, really? That's how guys are in this...
Just throwing it out there.
And it was appalling. Yeah. But I could see how you could really mess with people in that kind of environment. Now, bring that to internet dating. Same anonymity, except you can totally role play. You can be whatever picture you find, you could be that person. And I guess you find somebody who wants to believe that.
Yeah, on both sides. I mean, they want to believe they found a good patsy, and the patsy wants to believe they found a good solution to their loneliness,
Oh, it's like the guy on Catfish who thought for 10 years he was talking and in love with Katy Perry.
With a celebrity.
Yeah.
But they had to probably keep it on the down low because there's always something.
If there's one episode of Catfish you should watch, it's that one. Because this dude not only believes that it was Katy Perry, even after it's exposed and he meets the person that it really was, he's convinced that Katy Perry set it up and sent the fake person so she wouldn't be exposed and ruin her relationship with Orlando Bloom.
He totally deluded himself just to protect the feelings that he had invested.
I felt really bad for this kid.
I always feel bad on those episodes.
Because I'm like, well, some of them, some of them like, I go, you kind of got what you were, like some of the signs are
the red
painfully
flags,
glaring. Some of them, I mean, some of these people, I think.
It's always like, did you send the money? Yes.
Yeah. Well, there's a, I wish I knew the gentleman's name, but there was a case where the son was in love with this Russian model who he was talking to, and she was real. But it goes to like the strip club thing where she was enticing him via video chats and he was sending money and he was pretending he was this very wealthy man and he wasn't. He was stealing from his brother and his dad, and he ended up murdering his family because he got exposed.
Wow.
He must have had so much embarrassment and guilt.
Again, I think...
And the reality is then snapped.
I think there's... And maybe you can talk about this. I think there's different levels of maybe some mental...
Not that we're psychologists.
Yeah, but I think there's your average guy who gets surprised that he's con, like, whoa, I'm in it. And then there's some guys that are that desperate for attention that they can't see any signs. And I think some of those people might have a mental shortcoming. And I'm trying to be appropriate and not insult anybody, but
No, I think your insight is right on in terms of the desperation to want attention, to feel loved, whatever the thing is. I mean, you're taking a bunch of lies into your head. That's the reality of it. But your brain's also, processing that as something good, and you want to hold on to it because, your life is sitting in front of that laptop and chatting.
Connecting to somebody, even if it's fake. You still have that connection.
Yeah. I mean, I watch people on the internet all day, especially on Facebook. I watch their presence, how much they post, how often they post, what they post. And, there's a bit of a syndrome going on right now. I've noticed it's more with women than men. I call it the look at me syndrome.
Yeah.
Here's my selfie. And they'll get 100 responses. Oh, you're gorgeous, you're hot, you're whatever. And they don't even reply. They don't reply to all those comments. They just take them in to feed their own ego. I don't know.
Well, it's a new type of neuroses, I think.
Yes. Oh, it's an addiction.
Yeah.
I just recently, on Christmas Day, I got a call from a woman. And my parallel is that everyone that approaches me, I think, is fake. It takes a hard time for a real person to convince me that they're real. Because I think they're fake, and I'm a little bit jaded by the whole process of thinking.
You're knee deep in it.
Well, he even asked me when he got in here, he's like, you I was talking to on the Cheshire Cast message board. I was like, yeah, it was either me or Trish. You
never know.
And it was either one of us.
Yeah, but I think that in some of the cases, you might get guys that, it's Jimmy's shift now, so Jimmy's going to follow the same script. I mean, in some of these scams, yeah.
Yeah, you can take over a scam. I mean, I know that the scammers share their profiles and they can come in and just take over where you left off because
it's
they
like
can see the history.
It's crazy.
It's a big business. Big business.
So earlier we're not aware of a lot of the dating sites. We know them through pop culture references, but like you said, Match.com. In my head, that seems pure. Like it's vetted.
No,
and
not even near it. First off, the Match Group owns, again, 135 plus dating sites.
Wow. I didn't even know there were that many.
Yeah.
Me neither.
And
one person probably uses
it doesn't matter
more.
what name you want to come up with. They all belong to the Match Group.
Okay.
So
wow.
Because every year, like we're going to the iDate conference in January, and is it
run by Apple?
No, it's actually run by Match. Match is the primary sponsor.
But
Bumble, Bumble came in a couple of years ago and then got bought right there on the floor.
Yeah.
Of course, she made like, $12 billion on the IPO. But anyways, the reality is that you can't go out there. And do they vet? No. The FTC right now is suing the Match Group for, number one, allowing fake profiles to exist. And number two, to allow romance scammers to create profiles that don't belong to them. This is what I did my research on initially with the Match.com site. And that, and the way it goes is that I come in with a free subscription. I'm not going to pay at first. Why do I want to pay when it's free? But then the messages start coming. I'm interested in you. I like you. Whatever. You're handsome.
Bing, bing,
yeah.
bing,
Then it's called a click and pay. If I want to read that message, I'm going to pay $1 or get a subscription or something. But she wasn't real. I've talked to bots. I've talked to artificial intelligence. I've had conversations with artificial intelligence and also pictures that look pretty real.
So wait, there's dating apps where in order for you to respond to the message they send, you have to pay $1?
Probably in order to even see the message that was sent to you.
They're all set up differently. Some you won't see the pictures. You won't see who's interested in you. You won't see the message. They play different games, but at the end of the day, you're not going to have a complete conversation unless you click and pay.
The amount of money that you can make just off saying hello.
Yeah. Right now, any person can go into a class action suit. They're all out there. If you lost a couple $100 in Match.com 2 years ago, you can file for a claim and get it back.
Really?
Because the class action suits are out there. The FTC is going to bring the Match Group down financially, I think. We'll see.
Wow.
And, this couple in Portland, Maine, actually developed this app as their solution to what they saw as a problem a couple of years ago. So this app does background checks.
What's the app called?
It's called Love the Network.
Love the Network. That's the one that I saw.
It's brand new. We just launched in New England. It's regionalized. It's vetted. We put a real person behind the desk to get the background check done. And it's done by a national firm that does this all day long. And then we come back and we take it further by looking at their social media. We see their Facebook page, their Instagram, whatever. And we make a decision on what they post, what they say. They're either in or out at that point. We have the no shoot, no shoes, no shirt, no service.
No shit.
Because we wanted to create an environment that when you came into it, you were going to talk to a real person.
Yeah.
We have no fake accounts. We have no romance scammers.
Boy, that's a lot of work.
Catfishers. No, it's only a real person sitting down and looking.
You're doing the catfish investigations prior to the relationship starting.
Prior to them coming in behind the veil, they will not get into the membership unless they have passed every little Q&T we can give.
Now I know how matchmakers are still in business.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, aren't you curious a little bit if you would get a right or left swipe if you signed up for Tinder?
Not one bit.
No?
No.
I am. Like,
Why? What kind of validation would that give you?
You don't know
I
if you
don't
get.
know.
I
You
just
don't know
don't
if you
need
get the
that.
left or right swipe as a user.
Oh, you don't?
You don't know. No, you don't know. As a person, you don't know if you're getting left or right swiped.
Oh, never mind.
You're as the person who's looking, you're either swiping left or right. I mean,
Oh, you don't
I
get
actually wrote a song about that. I wrote a
there's
song.
not a score?
No, I wrote a song called
You
"Swipe."
got 5 lefts and 4 rights
Well,
today.
I wasn't
Like
sure.
figures, it's a Wednesday.
I don't know how the...
I don't know how it works either. I've never swiped.
I wrote a song called "Swiping Away," and it's sung to the tune of the Bee Gees' "Staying Alive." Swipe, 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 swiping away, swiping away.
It's right down your alley.
I thought it was going to be sung to the tune of Sail Away.
Yeah, both the same thing.
Yeah, come sail away.
Yeah, the old-
Come swipe away.
Come sail away.
For me, swiping makes a lot of sense. Because we have physical things still. If you're looking at a picture, it's either yes or no.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it might be unfortunate because you don't know the person inside and all that, but
That's biological.
the swipe is still yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
I would put crazy pictures of me up. Just to
You would garner certain people to you then.
Well, then how does it work? So if I make a Tinder account and somebody
Is the Tinder the swiping one?
Yeah, Tinder swipes.
Okay.
But that's only, that means nothing. If their algorithm
they have to message me if they
like
me?
if their algorithm is working, like right now I'm playing on one site that I have to show interest to her, then she has to show interest to me. So we both have to swipe right. And then she has to initiate the conversation. I cannot start a message. She has to start it.
Oh.
So every platform has got a nuance as to how they play the game of the click and pay.
Got it.
Because there's every nuance of human being and how they want relationships initiated.
Because there are a lot of young millennials sitting at the table thinking, how can we screw this up? How can we hey boss, I can improve the bottom line if I lie about this. How does that sound? Oh, go ahead. It's all about the revenue.
Wow.
And
Well, how are they making money in that?
Well, they're making money through the click and pays. I came on, I wasn't going to spend anything, and now I spent $50 in
But
1
doesn't
month.
the creator get that or the individual person?
No, this is going to the company.
So
Right.
companies
the dating
are
company.
based-
And the scammers
they
getting
can
a
put
percentage.
scammers
yes.
in there.
Well, the scammers come in by themselves to make their own money. See,
So the more people involved in their site, they're probably getting ad revenue. They're probably getting all sorts of stuff, memberships.
the dating app is making money because of the click and pay and because of whatever ads they're profiling. And this is a $12 billion a year business we're talking about, the dating industry. $12 billion a year is projected in 2020 right now. And 500 million will probably leave the U.S. because of romance scammers.
And that's, the United States is not alone in that.
No,
the
not a bit.
scamming goes on.
Germany, UK, I've got
China.
contacts all around the world. Asia, not so much.
Well, there's more men there than women, so I figured they'd...
No, there's more women wanting to get out. Right now in the Philippines, I got a buddy who went down to the Philippines because he can live for $10 a day. And the women just, he went out on a date with a girl and their own father is there saying, this is my daughter, take her to dinner, marry her and take her out of here.
Dowries.
Wow.
They are...
Have you seen 90 Day Fiancé, any of the episodes yet?
Yes, and I also know somebody who was on the show.
Was it a legit relationship?
I can't tell you exactly.
Well, of the relationships that I see on that show,
I don't believe it is. No.
there have been some that you can see a connection. They met online. They just happen to live in geographically different locations.
Mhm.
And then there are others that, as a person who's watching, a person from the outside, you can tell already. It didn't matter who this woman or man met in the United States. They wanted to come to the United States. They, regardless of the economic situation of the person they were talking with.
Isn't that there was a case where one of the girls was a young lady and the guy she was seeing was like in his 50s or something, and it turned out she was dating another guy the same age. So when he left, this other guy would come, or am I mixing up shows?
I don't recognize that story completely, but I don't put it out of the realm of possibility because they really are just waiting till the one person says, you know what, come marry me, come live in the United States.
That's crazy.
And it's all different ages of men. It's all different ages of women. There are women who are bringing men over from Nigeria. There are men who are bringing women over from different. It's. I don't see any sort of pattern. I mean, I'm sure if you broke it down by statistics, there would be one, but I'm not really. I think everybody's kind of susceptible to this type of emotional
that's
manipulation.
That's the show where the guy from Spain or whatever married the woman from the United States, and he kept making excuses for why he wouldn't have sex with her. Is that one of the episodes?
I think that was, and then they got divorced.
Yeah.
And he wasn't from Spain. I think he was like from Tunisia or something.
Something like that. But he would make up. She wanted to like consummate the relationship, and he always would make excuses.
I see relationships on there that I don't understand how people think that the other person like can reciprocate their same level of affection. Like it's so obvious that it's not. But to them, it is life.
But I guess that's a different thing than...
There's something, I'm not a big fan of reality shows. I would do Naked and Afraid. I'll tell you that. In a heartbeat, I'll do Naked and Afraid.
All right, well, we're not going to do that here.
But of course not.
I'm afraid now.
What I want to say, though, is that these shows, they portray a couple of characters, like in 90 Day Fiancé. It's the producers behind the episode who write it.
But these things are really going on.
Yeah, but the producers...
Not necessarily with
to
them.
An extent.
But yeah, to an extent.
It's just highlighting
the
other
producers
stories.
Will be like, hey, what if you say this? What if you say... How about... They're
the
like
thing about
orchestrating
reality
the drama.
shows is they are orchestrated drama, but they draw from things that are going on. Like if... I'm sure any script that's written on these shows, you could probably replicate that in real life. I mean, find a story that's similar to what's being written. So although they're a little bit more dramatic or a little bit more outlandish, those things are you're also here to say those things are actually going on in real life. People are contacting you. They are creating these relationships. They do want you to send them money. This isn't. This is really going on. So what are some of the red flags?
One of the flags. Well, when you start your chat off, you're going to have a couple of lines that always come out from a scammer. What are you looking for? I love that line. What are you looking for?
That sounds like a natural line you would use just regularly.
Sure.
Yeah. So what am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for a pot of gold. I mean, what are you looking for? What are you doing? Oh, I love when they say, what have you taken today? What have you taken today? What does that mean to you? What have you taken?
Vitamins.
What have you taken?
A lot of shit.
I took a nap.
Well, it actually means
a lot of shit from a computer.
It means what did you eat today?
Okay.
So you don't, there's a little things that come out that are very strange because in America, we don't say we took some food today, but that's how they talk.
Never had any potential date ask me what I ate
today.
Okay,
we're talking about the first minute here in conversation.
To show care and concern.
Are you married? Are you single? Do you live alone?
I'm going to go to a bar and ask.
You get 12 questions.
What did you eat today?
What did you eat today?
No, what have you taken today?
So that's if they're in a different culture, but this could also go on between. I mean, you could be scammed by somebody who lives in your same town.
Sure,
absolutely, because my focus right now is on
how do you date
people that say
right
they're
now?
down the street. I've got one 30 minutes away that I'm trying to find out if she's real or not because it's curious to me. It's become a little bit of a
it's
game.
Like a cat and mouse game.
Yeah,
it's a
I want to see if she's
game.
real.
So if people are interested in reading more about this and finding out more about what it is Joey Burns does, where can they go?
Well, the Facebook page Love Scammers, and you can find that with the tag @GotGiftCard, as in don't have gift card anymore. But
you used to send. They ask for gift cards.
Oh, gift cards are the Stream card's #1, Apple Card. I mean, nowadays you just can. Are you going to the store? Pick up a card, photograph the front and back, and send me the numbers. And as soon as you do that, the cash is gone. They just take the numbers off the.
And there are people
pictures.
that happens to, and once they walk away. But there are people that this happens to, and they just keep.
And they'll come back for more. Yeah.
And it just never occurs to them.
It depends on where the relationship is online in terms of it, being fully developed, where they'll ask for more, but they're coming to see you in 2 months, but now their grandmother got sick, whatever. as opposed to the person that's just looking for a quick hit and then they leave and go on to the next mark. Because they've got pretty detailed spreadsheets of who's in
And
the
people are
mark
giving
list.
them the money because they want to continue the
Yes.
connection.
Yeah.
So say that again. It's at
Got gift card.
got gift card.
Yeah,
And
GOT
then
gift card. And Love Scammers is the name of the site.
Love Scammers,
Yeah.
and that's on Facebook.
It's on Facebook.
Any website?
No, we took a Facebook presence because that's where the
Okay.
hotbed is. That's where, I take down 100 profiles a day right now.
And there's a book too?
Well, we wrote a book and we didn't publish it because everything in there was going to reveal to the scammers what we had learned.
Okay.
Like one of my tricks for really finding out where the rubber hits the road, and I did this with the girl in Ohio because she convinced me she was real. So I say, are you on LinkedIn? And of course they're not. LinkedIn is like the number one professional business site in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which men have also. Okay, sorry.
Okay, so I say, well,
Still ask for
I'll
dates
give
on
you
that.
I'll give you a temporary passcode to my LinkedIn site. I want you to go in and look around and see what I've been doing for 45 years and get to know me. That's how you play it. I want you to get to know me. Now they think they're going into some room where they can find a credit card on the shelf and take it.
Right.
They want to scamper in there and look around. Well, as soon as they come in, thanks to LinkedIn, they get their IP address pinged. So my little damsel in Dayton, Ohio, pinged up Lagos, Nigeria. So she's not doing good.
What? Maybe she was using a VPN.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah,
Right.
Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah,
She should have been apparently.
yeah, right.
That was always the ultimate test to break the bank on where you really were by getting into the LinkedIn and getting pinged. Otherwise, it's just conversation and just watching them like this. Even when I do chat in real time, I'm a real time chat person. So if you're chatting with me, we're chatting. We're not like 5-10 minutes later you
Sure.
come back and see your answer. So I watch people and what their real time chatability is. If they can't stay in a chat, and another thing I recommend with people that are serious about internet dating is that if you meet someone online, you chat for one day, you better get on the phone on day 2.
Huh.
If they will not get on the phone for whatever reason they have,
Maybe you're moving too fast.
you're moving too fast, right? If you don't want your number, if you don't want your phone number revealed, go get a free Google Voice number. That's where the world calls me on.
Right.
But my private phone, no one knows my private phone number, but Google Voice is free.
Right.
So get a free number, then you don't have to worry about, where you're revealing your location is. So the style of the chat, how frequent it is, the people in Lagos don't realize that when they get up to work and it's 8:00 over in Lagos, it's still 4:00 over here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need to have 25 phone calls at 4:00 or 3:00 in the morning because it's work time over there. They have no concept.
I had no idea.
Yeah, you got to watch and keep Americanized. If someone's not chatting American, then it's a flag.
Yeah.
And short little things or being gone for 15 minutes during the conversation.
And not being like, hold on, I'm going to get a cup of coffee and then coming
Yeah,
back. Just
exactly.
Hold on, I'm
sit
going to go
here.
watch Star Wars.
Well, be right back is less than a few
BRB.
minutes.
Yeah.
Be back later is maybe 15. I think it's rude for people to
Or
leave
if
the
they-
chat and not say something.
Like when we were in game, when we'd be gaming online with our BRB bio.
Bio.
What is that?
You,
I don't remember.
You didn't ever say bio?
BYO?
BRB, BIO?
I don't remember it. I remember BYB. I mean, BRB.
I don't know bio. What's bio?
Means you got to take a poop.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, I didn't share that. No.
BRB bio. That's
Okay.
No, I never.
you gotta go
picked up
take a poop. Just so you know, I'll be
You-
gone for like 5-10 minutes.
You share that as the kind of guy you are. I never shared that.
Yeah.
And I don't remember ever anybody sharing that with me.
I mean,
we're also talking 20 years ago.
yeah. Crazy. It's crazy. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming in and sharing this story with us and getting us some info on this and hopefully we can share some of this, especially with what's the next holiday. Valentine's Day is around the corner.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that are, looking for.
You get a little nostalgic around this time of year.
There's not many scammers that won't ask for a dozen roses on Valentine's Day. I'll tell you that. There's not many.
And we just went through the holidays. People don't. It's being alone on the holidays makes people more. I guess you accept a little bit more weird treatment if you're out there looking for love around the holidays, especially coming up
Yeah.
on Valentine's Day.
Well,
But it can happen too. This isn't all doom and gloom. There are instances where
possible. It's a possibility. The odds are maybe 1 in 1,000 from what I tell right now. Not just
Womp
about
womp.
finding someone
Those are
real.
bad odds.
Huh?
Well, it's not just real, but it's also emotionally stable, emotionally available. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
I
things
think
before
his-
you have any potential.
He's talking like the full picture. Like,
Yeah.
Tinder, you can hook up for an evening and be
Grindr.
done. Grindr. I have an account on Grindr.
I'm sure you do.
I get a lot of messages on
I'm
Grindr.
sure you do. That's right. You're busy every Thursday night.
It's true. I don't even think I would get a lot of messages on Grindr.
And funny,
I'm going to make a fake account
I have a lot
using
of
my real pictures and my real name. But
You
it's
need
gonna
that
be
type of affirmation.
No, just joking.
Imagine if you did. If you do post it, let's follow along.
I have a lot of Facebook friends that are cam girls. So they make a real living
Yeah.
with the cams, and they are so
Cams as in cameras.
yeah, they just they're making money with their cams at home. They're video cams, sex chats.
Yeah.
Okay.
But these are real American girls, who
Sure.
they don't go to the club. They just stay in their bedroom and put the cam on.
Somebody just raised $700,000 by
For sending nude photos.
nude photos
Yeah.
for the Australian wildfires.
Listen,
Her
more
account-
power to
Her
her.
account got canceled though.
That's too bad. But
700 grand for the wildfires by sending
they need it.
pictures.
Well, my point was that these girls are very offended that $400 million is leaving the country to go to Lagos when
Yeah.
they could have
They could
gotten
up-
it.
they could up-
made it.
They gotta up their game.
No, I was trying to get them organized to say something, but they're all so flaky that all they want to do is go to bed and get up tomorrow morning and do some more camming. I mean, they've been cursed. It's a double-edged sword.
What a
Golden handcuffs.
What a work. So, any parting advice?
Any parting advice? I think that internet dating can be fun.
Yeah.
I think that if you go after the emotional connection and try and do the sapiosexual route of how smart are you and what can you talk about,
Mm-hmm.
you can have some good times and learn things about yourself and
Sure.
your ability to communicate. Past that point, don't believe any picture you get, period. And two, watch their timeline. When are they on? How often? How long?
How long are they taking bio breaks?
Does it match up with my time zone? That's always the big thing. Is if it doesn't match up with your time zone, then something's wrong.
Unless you're looking to date in another
Yeah.
country. Some people might.
Right? No, absolutely. The girls in the Ukraine right now is the women out. They just are so hungry to get out of that country. The men are.
If she sends a selfie that looks like that, she's
It's-
probably not real.
Well,
it's
that-
it's
see, the
called-
thing is,
she's
though,
real.
She's real.
I mean, that's when
I
I
know, but
started
that's
Love
not-
Scammers. When I started Love Scammers, it was all about trying to find that girl to tell her that her pictures had been
I've seen that
hijacked.
on
Right.
Catfish.
Yeah,
They don't know.
and
They have
I-
no idea.
And I stopped doing that and changed the direction of what I was trying to educate people with. But because people started telling, hey, that girl doesn't want to know. Well, it
And
makes
people
sense.
who are sending pictures like that might be complimented to know that somebody took their picture to use as
Yeah.
a.
My pictures
Maybe.
are, but I have pictures of myself out there because people find me and they say, well, isn't your name so-and-so? I saw you on a dating site. Here are your pictures. I'm like, well, yeah, those are my pictures, but that's not my profile.
Yeah.
Interesting. Whole world. There's a whole new world out there.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Well, watch for red flags.
Yeah.
Don't ignore them.
Joey Burns.
Don't get a dozen red flags for Valentine's Day. I think that's one of my photos on the Love Scammer site.
Nice.
Is the bouquet of red flags.
That's hysterical.
Well, everybody go check out Love Scammers and don't get scammed, don't get caught. Joey Burns, thanks for coming in
Pleasure to be here.
and sharing everything with us. It's eye-opening.
It's insightful.
I like it.
I say if you share, you care.
Yeah. We're going to have you back in to talk about some more stuff because I'm sure there's some stories.
There's a lot of stuff coming down. A lot of
Awesome.
stuff coming down.
Trish, anything?
That's it.
Yeah? You going to go home and go to bed now?
Take care of that 1.5-year-old.
I got to go see what's going on at home. I have no idea what I'm going to walk into.
Okay.
It'll be her house, whatever it is.
It will be.
Yeah.
Everybody will be there. We'll just see what kind of mental state everybody's in.
All right, everybody. Then bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Goodbye.
Let's get out of here! Like now!
Okay, so I'll see you later, huh? I'll give you a call.
Okay, see you later, pal.
Amigos, time to depart.